Welcome to the Juice Radio Talk Show. 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 Reality TV, church reviews. Let's talk happy love and marriage lifestyle. Come and talk with us. Come and share with us. Come and laugh with us. Come on and pray with us.
Regina Clovis, special guest. You should be following your lead. Bless. Subscribe on YouTube. Listen on podcasts. We live on IG and Facebook. This episode is sponsored by Truth and Triumph Ministries.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing today? Thank you for being here. Listen. Y'all notice somebody's not here, right? Bree, how you doing, girl? She not here, y'all. All right, welcome to the Juice Radio and Talk Show. Brianna had some appointments she had to do. She couldn't change her schedule, unfortunately. She had to take care of some things, but I decided, let me go ahead and do this show for you because I don't want the people to say, hey, where you been? What's happening? And so forth. So we're going to have a chat. Still talking about millennials and Generation X because I think the conversation is good to have. Today, I'm going to talk about some things on the positive note, I would say, for the millennials. And I think a lot of times we give the millennials a bad rap. Yeah, guys, we've been really getting into those millennials and not giving them really all the accolades that they need. But I found a survey today and a conversation I want to have. And I think it's really going to be interesting to have this conversation. Because this is something that's going to let you guys have a better mindset of what these millennials are doing. All right. Let me go ahead and let me get this other live stream up over here. Put Instagram. There we go. And let's have a chit chat. All right. So I found this great website and it's called Exploding Topics. And it seems really good. It says 7 millennial trends for 2023. And I'm going to, let me show you all the website. So if you guys want to go back and pull this information up, you can. And I'm going to also put the link in the comment section here so you guys can have this, okay? Link to info. All right, so I'll put that in here. Now let's talk a little bit about these millennials. Now, a lot of time millennials are misunderstood. They just misunderstood. Hey, Erin, thank you for being here. I love her. Erin is reminding everybody, click like, click subscribe, and click share. Thank you so much. All right, so let's talk about this. Here's this article that I found. And it's from, it says Exploding Topics, 7 Millennial Trends for 2023. 7 Millennial Trends for 2023. And it's really, really interesting, you guys, because my daughter, she's a millennial. And a lot of times we would think, why aren't y'all doing what we did? I'm Gen X. Why aren't y'all doing what your parents did back in the day? What's the holdup? What's going on? So I'm going to have a talk with you guys, and I'm going to go based on this millennial topic here. Now, it's interesting because it says this about millennials. It says, if we expect them, millennials, to follow in the footsteps of the previous generation, Gen X, they should be settling into their careers, getting married, and having children. However, the trends in this report shows the exact opposite is happening. Now, I want a lot of parents to realize this because a lot of times that's what we do, parents. We're like, well, I want my kids to do what I did. When I was this age, their age, I was doing this and I was doing that and so forth. And we tend to get upset because we feel like our kids are not doing what we were doing at their age. And we're basing their life off of our life. And there's where a lot of the conflict and the confusion and the aggravation happens between the parent, the Gen X, and their millennial child. And that's where some of the confusion comes, because a lot of times parents are trying to be like, why aren't you like I was when I was your age? I was this and I was that. We have to understand these kids are a whole different level from where we are. And in order to have better communications with your kid, you're going to have to understand that your kid may have been birthed from you, but they may be totally different from you. But it's not always a negative thing. Let me read this again. It says millennials are busy traveling. A lot of millennials are traveling at their age, paying off student loans. Okay, article. It says, and turning away from traditional social norms. What does all this mean for past or future generations? We're going to read about it and see. We're going to talk about education and a whole bunch of other stuff. I want to read something from you to you from Pastor Apostle Frank Cheeseborough book. I love this book. It's so good. You can get this on Amazon. We interviewed him. And when I tell you this book is so encouraging, and it's not one of these type of books that you have to read from cover to end. You can just pick it up and read it anywhere in between. It really helps to guide people, give you a good guide for your day, your journey, and your goals and ambitions. I want to read this out of here. Excuse me. He says this: principles to help get a yes. He says, first, know your worth and do not assume anything less. Parents, I think I'm going to start with that. I think with a lot of Generation X parents, I think we don't really look at our kids this way. We look at them in the worth and value that we see, but we don't see the worth and value that they really are. They're not less than. They're not probably going to do less than you. They're probably going to do more than you, just in different areas of their life than you did. When we were growing up, remember, we didn't have all of this technology like this. But those millennials, they know this stuff. So they're excelling in this area, whereas we didn't. So they have their pluses. Apostle Cheeseborough's book also says this. He says, self-confidence opens the doors to success. Now, parents, I think a lot of times we really want to encourage our kids, but sometimes our encouraging can seem as though to them that we are discouraging them because of that communication break. Again, we're trying to get our kids to be so much like us, but they're not. They are totally a whole different generation. All right. It also says this. It says, focus on progress first and perfection later. And then it has these 5 words that start with P. Push yourself when everyone doubts you. And I'm talking to the millennials now. I'm going to talk to the millennials because I think a lot of time millennials, they have a hard time trying to go further with ideas and dreams and goals that they have because they feel like their parents are not supporting them, that their parents are not being that support system that they want. But millennials, y'all are really moving this world in a better direction. Y'all really are. Y'all are moving this world in a really better direction. We Generation Xers have to really see that. There are, in every generation, thank you, Holy Spirit, in every generation, there's those that are doing less than they really should. And then there's those that are doing more. So it does. There, in every generation. But let me talk to the generation of the millennials again. For those of you who feel as though your family members are not supporting you and your family members are not pushing you and they're not on your helping you with your goals and your dreams and all that, let Auntie Regina talk to you, okay? Or Auntie Juice, like some of the people say. I want you to remember you are going to be successful too. And a lot of people have to go on this journey alone sometimes when it comes to goals, ambitions, dreams, and drives and things that they want to do. But don't give up. Don't sit and wait for a lot of times the parents' approval because the parent may not understand it at the time. But when you become successful, you can then look back and tell your parents, look, Mom, I did it. Or look, Dad, I did it. And I'm bringing you along. I told you I was going to do it. I told you I'd be successful at this. And then that parent will be able to say really proudly, I'm praying, yes, son or daughter, you did. And I am very proud. I doubted you, but I'm glad that you still pushed and pursued and did the progress that you did. So, we may not understand. We may not understand, but let me talk to the millennials. All right. Millennials, I want you to remember these 5 words: push, pick, promise, prove, and proud. Push, pick, promise, prove, and proud. The first one, push. Push yourself when everyone doubts you. Push yourself. Push yourself. Okay? Don't sit and wait for somebody else now. Push yourself. Hey, AT2, how you doing? Thank you so much. AT2 is so cute. He says, I hope I can say, look, I did it. You will, AT2. You will. You will do that also. Push yourself, millennials. Push when everyone doubts you. It didn't say when your parents doubt you, your dad doubts you, your friend doubts you, your neighbor doubts you. It said when everyone doubts you. No matter who it is, it could be your sweet little grandma that you love so much and you don't want to disappoint her. But you guys, she may be doubting you and she may be doing it in the sweetest way. But if that's a goal and ambition that you want to do, then push yourself. Don't sit on the couch and wait for somebody else to push you. Come on, millennials, you can do it. Y'all gonna make your parents proud. The next word says, pick yourself when you fall. Pick up yourself when you fall. Pick yourself up. So many millennials get so discouraged because they'll try something. And then as life has it, everybody has probably gone through it. You try something and then it doesn't work. It fails. And the first thing a lot of people want to do is they just want to stay on the ground. They just want to stay down. And a lot of parents, what we do, come on, parents. A lot of time parents, instead of you grabbing your child and saying, listen, you could do this. Don't give up. Go for it. A lot of times what some of us Gen X parents do, we say, I told you that wasn't going to work. I told you was crazy for doing that. I told you shouldn't have done that. You need to be doing this, working with your dad in his business, or go down there to the store and get you a job, or 9 to 5 or whatever. That's a lot of times what we parents do. That's what we Gen Xers do. I want you parents to have a change of thought today, okay? I want you to support your child. And if they fail at whatever vision they're trying to do, don't let them stay down. If that's a goal and dream that they really want, parents, I want you to support them, even if you don't really understand it. As long as everything is legal, okay? Nobody want to get in trouble. Nobody want to go to jail or not. But I want you to support these children because they're your children, but they're adults. I want you to support them because you never know what they can accomplish. And as a parent, you don't want to hold them back from their greatness. I think of the story about Tyler Perry. And I saw several interviews that Tyler Perry did. And I remember this one interview where he was speaking and he said that he was telling his parents how he wanted to do plays and movies and all this kind of stuff and the dreams and goals that he had. And they were way bigger than any of his family members could think of him doing. And so they doubted him. And they even tried to discourage him and even tried to tell him, going over there and work for the electric company. That's a great 9 to 5 job. Why would you leave that? That's a great job. And Tyler Perry said, no, I don't want to do that. I have a dream. I have a goal. I have big dreams. This is what I want to do. And I remember how Tyler Perry spoke about how his family members and friends and stuff, they were like, nah, you're not going to do that. You just not going to do that. You might as well do this. And Tyler Perry went out and he tried. And there were times when he failed. There were times when things didn't go his way. There were times when he was struggling financially, struggling, living in his car, praying that his credit card would go through when he went to the store, all kinds of things. Having family tell him, probably, hey, I told you to go back over there and work for the electric company. I told you this wasn't going to work. I told you this was too much. Why are you doing this? But Tyler Perry never gave up on his dream, regardless doubting people that were around him. He never gave up on the dream. And even though he went through hardships, he went through times when he himself didn't know where the wealth was going to come in, even though he went through all of that, he never stopped the dream. He never stopped dreaming. And not only did he not stop dreaming, he also didn't stop working toward his dream. And now, as all of you know, and it's not even the end of Tyler Perry's story, we're right along the middle somewhere. Tyler Perry is doing fantastic work that supersedes anything that any of his family members or even himself could have ever imagined. He is doing works that is monumental. And his family members, I'm sure, they probably were like, well, we didn't think you could do it, but we happy you succeeded. Because, of course, he became this financial mogul, this great stage playwright, this great movie director and movie producer, this great man that has accomplished so much. And even though his family doubted him, he still pushed forward and did it. Now, again, millennials, I want you to know there are going to be struggles. There's going to be times when so many people around you may doubt you and say, you're not going to make it. Why are you doing it? And they even may try and get in your own head. And you may sit on the sofa one day and think, what am I doing? I'm not doing any good. I'm not doing well. What am I doing this for? I might as well just go and get me a little 9-to-5 job or something, that I don't like doing. You may think that. And even if you have to get a 9-to-5 job, don't let your goal and dream vanish because you do that. Let your goal and dream still be in the progress and the process. Even if you have to do it on your lunch hour, the goals and dreams that you want to do. Even if you have to do it when you're off work, on your days off. Don't give it up. We all know we all need finances. But listen, don't get stuck in doing something that you have to do to pay for stuff and let that thing stop you from doing something that you want to do, that you enjoy, that you know will be a great success. Don't stop. Tyler Perry didn't. And now he is doing amazing work. And not only that, thank you, Holy Spirit, Tyler Perry is also, because he did not give up on his dream, he is also helping other people to achieve their dream. Yep, you guys, he is expanding and helping the other people to get their dreams accomplished by these singers that want to sing, by actors that want to act, by producers that want to help learn about the film industry, film crew that want to learn about making movies and so forth, production crews that like to put up stage plays and stuff like that. He is helping so many other people to accomplish their dreams also, simply because he was willing enough to not give up on his dream. So parents, don't stop your family members now. Don't stop your children. You might be stopping a great big thing that needs to happen to not only help your child and your family to be successful, but also to help other people to help their dreams to be successful. You think about it. How many of these other people are probably waiting for you to get on the success wagon so that they can get on there also? Parents, don't doubt your children. All right? So the first word, millennials, push. Push yourself when everyone doubts you. The second word, pick. Pick yourself up when you fall. Pick yourself up even when you fall. This gnat is going to get it. The third thing, promise. This is a good one. Promise yourself you will never give up. Promise yourself. Now, that's a real big one, because a lot of times we say, well, I'm going to do it. And then barricades, blockades, and stuff get in the way, and then you stop. You need to make a promise to yourself that you will never give up. I suggest that some of you millennials do this. I suggest that you get like a little ring. It doesn't have to be a real ring, maybe like a little, little piece of jewelry or something like that. Put it on your finger and make a vow to yourself. Make a vow to yourself. Say, with this ring, you might use my wedding ring. With this ring, I promise that I am never going to give up on this goal and this dream that I am in the process of doing. I will not stop. I will continue so that we could be successful. Make yourself that promise. The reason why I'm asking you to put the ring on your own finger, don't have somebody else do it. This is between you and yourself. Put it on your own self because, because here's what you're doing. You are making a promise to yourself that you will never give up. And every time you take a look at that ring, that's going to remind you of the promise that you made. And it's going to remind you to keep pushing forward with the work that you need to do for whatever the venture is that you have in your life, whether it be business, whether it be self-care, whatever that promise you're making, you're going to be able to look at that ring as a symbol of the promise that you made to yourself. I always like to put things in front of me as a visual because it reminds me, without a vision, the people perish. That's what the Bible teaches us. So without a visual effect of something, without having something visually in front of you, you may forget your own dreams. It happens so many times with people. They don't put anything in front of them to remind them. So put this ring on yourself to promise yourself, to be a reminder of the promise. Then the next word it says, millennials, prove yourself right. Oh my goodness, Apostle Cheeseborough, this book is amazing. Millennials, prove yourself right. You don't have to prove what you're doing to anybody else. You're not doing it for anybody else. You're doing what you're doing as far as business, life goals, whatever. Goal, Goals. It is not because you want to impress somebody else. It shouldn't be anyway. It should be because this is something you want to excel in. You want to accomplish. Thank you, Holy Spirit, that you want to achieve. This is what you want. So it's not to try and prove it and to do this for somebody else. No, you're doing this because you want to prove to yourself that you can do it, that it can be done, and you could be the one to do it. Remember the story I just told you about Tyler Perry? He wasn't doing it because he wanted to prove to his family that he could do it. He wanted to prove to himself that he could do it. And he's still accomplishing great feats. I mean, come on, he just bought this whole, well, not just, but he bought a studio. He bought some land and made a whole studio here in Atlanta. You know, he went through trials and tribulations to try and get that land. They didn't want to sell that land to him, but he bought it because he wouldn't give up. And it wasn't because he wanted to prove to the city people, the council people, or anybody that was around the neighborhood. He wanted to do it because he wanted to prove to himself that he could do it. And he did it because he did the principles. He pushed himself. He picked himself up when he failed. He promised himself that he was going to do it. And he wasn't out to try and prove it to nobody else. And then the last one I want you to hear about before I jump into a little bit of this article, be proud of who you are. All right, millennials, your parents may not be as excited about the business venture and things that you want to do in life. They may not understand. I didn't understand a lot of things that my daughter was doing. I still don't understand a lot of it. But one thing I do know is when she tells me about some of the things that she's doing, the way her smile lights up and her whole entire being just changes. It's like, you know, I'm so excited about this. It makes me smile because it lets me know that's giving her life. That's something that she wants to live for, to do, to enjoy. And so parents, wouldn't you want your child's life to just light up when they talk about things that they want to do? So why would you want to put a damper on that by telling them, no, they can't do it? They can and they will. And wouldn't it be, thank you, Holy Spirit, Wouldn't it be so great if they not only accomplished it by themselves, but if they accomplished it with your support? How proud of a parent would you be? I'm going to be super proud when my daughter accomplishes all the things that she set into motion. And I believe that she will do it. And parents, even if your children's dreams and goals in life and ventures in life changes, that's okay. It's okay. Because things in life do change. The world itself changes and evolves. As long as your children keep a goal in front of them and a vision in front of them, support. So again, I'm going to tell you these principles out of Apostle Frank Cheeseborough's book, The Principles of Success. I love this book. You guys can get it on Amazon. He says this. He says, push yourself when everyone doubts you. Pick yourself up when you fall. Promise yourself you will never give up. And prove yourself right. And be proud of who you are. And remember, he said, focus on progress first and perfection later. Focus on the progress. And self-confidence opens the doors to success. I love that. I love that. All right, let's talk real quick, and then we're going to get out of here. Oh, let me say hello to all of you who have come in the chat. Thank y'all so much for being here. Thank you so much. Let's see. Pastor Lorenzo, how you doing? He says, yes, don't lay in your failure. That's right. He said, get up and try it again. And you know what, Pastor Lorenzo? The other great thing about that too is a lot of people, they feel as though a failure is a failure, but a failure is a lesson learned so that you can help get it right. A failure is not a failure. It's a lesson. And it's okay to fail at something because you're going to learn, okay, I didn't do it right that time, so I know not to do this. So now let me come over here and try it again, and I'm going to try it this way. I mean, look at the Wright brothers. When they were weren't they the ones that was trying to get that airplane up in the air? How many times do you think they failed? But they kept saying a failure is not a failure. It's just a way that I can learn what I did wrong so I can do it right. Hint, Wright brothers. All right, I love that. Thank you, Pastor Lorenzo. Thank you, Aaron. All right, let's say hello to, hey, Robin. Hey, Robin, thank you. She said, hey, Regina, I just got here. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you, Aaron, for greeting the beautiful people. Hey, LaToya. Hey, girl. Thank you so much for being here, sis. Appreciate you. All right. Some of the different things that, real quick, that millennials are doing different from the Generation X. And some of you, this will probably give you better understanding of how millennials are thinking. The one thing it says in this article, exploding topics, and you see it here, exploding topics. I put the link in the comment section if y'all want to take a look at it. It says, one, educated. Millennials are educated but not wealthy. I love that. It says they're educated but not wealthy. It says more than 1/3 of millennials overall, and 2 out of 5 millennial women have a college degree. So they have college degrees. It says, despite all of these educational accomplishments, this generation is on a much lower trajectory of wealth accumulation than their parents and grandparents were. They got the education, but they're doing other things with their money than what we did. Also, it says the millennials they're more focused on a healthy lifestyle than we were. Now, parents, let's talk. You are so keen on trying to tell your child what's good, what's best, what they need to do, what they're doing wrong, and so forth. Are these millennials healthier than you are or than you were? I know my daughter's a lot more healthier than I am. I wish I looked the size that she is. I mean, I was her size when I had her, but here it is. You guys, millennials are really into this healthy thing. So parents, here's a way you can connect with your millennial child. You Gen Xers. If you're having a hard time communicating with your child, I bet you if you talk to your millennial child about health and wellness, I bet you one thing, they would love to have that conversation with you. Go for a run, go for a jog. Hey, dad, we need to eat. Well, they eat everything, but they are much more fit than we are. All right. It also says here that they spend more money in gyms and gym memberships than we did as Generation X. It also says that they're not ones, the millennials, they're not ones to keep this student loan debt. That's what this article is saying. They're saying not like us Generation X's. We were so busy trying to get in debt because we didn't want to pay those student loans, allegedly. But they're saying the millennials are doing a whole different turn. The millennials don't want to keep that student loan debt. This is what this article, they have the census on here to prove all of this. The census. Here's another thing that it says about millennials that I thought was really interesting. It says millennials are reluctant to buy a home for now. That was a thought, because I had conversations with my daughter and my son, and both of them say, well, I just want to live in the city, Mom. I don't really want to buy a home. I just want to live in the city. I'll go ahead and I'll rent one of the condos or something like that. And I thought, why? Don't you want to own a home? That's what we do. See, our generation, our thing is we want to own a home. That was one of our major goals. But millennials have a whole different way of thinking, and owning a home is not one of their major goals. Some of their major goals, you're going to be surprised as I finish up this article, what they want to do. But buying a home is not one of their major goals. So parents, if you're trying to push your child who's a millennial to purchase a home, you might just be wasting your breath, your time, and maybe your money. According to this article, millennials, a lot of them don't want to own a home right now. Oh, this article is so good. Also, number 5, there's a whole bunch of these in here. It says this about millennials. Millennials are putting off marriage, not for good, but they're just not getting married as quickly as our generation did. And I have to say, the article is absolutely right when it comes to my 2 kids. They don't want to get married. My son told me, he says, Mom, he says, I hope you don't get mad when I tell you this. And I says, all right, wait, let me get prepared. Okay, what is it? And he started laughing and he says, I think I'm going to be a bachelor. I don't think I'm ever getting married. And I said, you want to do that? Don't you want to have a family, kids and all that? And he said, I might just adopt. And I said, but what about your girlfriend, your wife? He says, nah, he says, it just might be me and my kids. And I thought, what, to me, a Generation X, it sounded like, what? How crazy and absurd is that? But to millennials, it's what some of them may think. And according to this article, it says they are putting off marriages. It says millennials and marriage are not match made in heaven. In 2019 data from the Pew Research Center showed that only 44% of millennials were even married, which that's a large percentage, but it's lower than the baby boomers and the Gen X. It says, for comparison, 61% of baby boomers were married and 53% of Gen Xers were married when they were at the same age that millennials are now. So millennials are taking a different look at this. So parents, stop getting so mad and say, what is wrong with my child? Nothing. They just doing what their generation is doing. And really, Gen Xers, if you think about it, if you compare your generation with your parents' generation, how much changed? Because I know with my parents' generation, some of that stuff that they were doing, especially the outhouse, oh, I praise them for doing all of that. I tell you, they were strong people, strong. Because I went on a trip one day and my mom showed me where she used to live, and we went to visit one of the people that she knew, and the young lady she was elderly, but she was such a sweet lady. And I told my mom, I was young. I told my mom and I said, I was about maybe 10, 12 years old when we went on this trip. And I said, I need to use the restroom. And my mom said, okay. And she told the young girl that was there, it was a lady's granddaughter or something. She said, take her out to use the restroom. And I was like, okay. So She started leading me through the house, and we come through the back door, and I'm like, why are we going outside? I said, the bathroom, in the bathroom, man, why are we going out? And she took me over to this little stall, this little thing, this little hut thing, wooden thing. And she opened the door, and I nearly fell out. I was like, oh. I was like, where's the toilet? She was like, oh, do you see that hole right there? Some of y'all that's in the chat, y'all know what I'm talking about. With my hand over my nose, I looked out and I was like, what you want me to do with that? She said, this is the bathroom. I said, oh, no, it's not. Oh, no, it's not. I was only about 8 or 10 years old or something. She was like, yeah, this is our bathroom. Honey, I didn't have to use the bathroom no more. Nope. I didn't have to use it no more. Nope. I went back inside the house and I said, Mom, I told my mom, I said, why doesn't this house have a bathroom? I didn't understand it. As we grew up, my mom told us a story, and let me tell you, grateful, and thankful I am that indoor plumbing came into existence. Let's get back on over to this, all right? Let's get back to this. So millennials are putting off marriage. They're putting off marriage. Also, millennials are not becoming parents. Yikes. Let me tell y'all. My daughter said this to me. She says, Mom, I hope you don't mind this. I was like, mind what? What's wrong? What happened? She said, I'm not going to have no kids. I was like, what? And then not 2 weeks later, my son came to me and he says, you know what, Mom? He says, I may adopt or I may not have kids. I don't know. And I was like, what? And as a Gen Xer, I'm like, what is wrong with my kids? Nothing. That's just their generation. Don't be mad. It says this with the article. It says millennials are also wanting to have children, but it says that they're waiting. It says increase from 20. It says data from the National Vital Statistics System shows that average age of a woman when she first had a child increased from 24.9 years old to 26.3 years old between 2000 and 2014. And it says one professor analyzed data from the U.S. Census and found that waiting to have children increased a woman's earnings. So women who had their first child at 30 years age were making $16,000 less than women who waited until they were 35. So basically the article is saying millennials about their money. They're like, if I can get money, I don't, and not have a kid, I'm gonna get the money. I'm not mad at them. Let me read a couple of more, and then I'm going to get in your comments, and then we're going to be out of here. It says also, number 7, it says they're driven by wanderlust. Many millennials are prioritizing experiences like traveling instead of traditional expectations like getting married or having kids. This is what the article is saying that the millennials are spending their money on. Travel. And y'all know us Gen Xers, we didn't travel like that when we were their age. We were busy working. We were like, I got to get this job. But millennials, their age, they're like, I need to go traveling. So they want to have these businesses that don't get them stuck in a 9 to 5 because they want to still be able to travel. This is what millennials, according to this article, are spending their money on. So this is probably why a lot of millennials want these home-based businesses or self-owned companies or corporations, because they enjoy travel and they want to see the world. Whereas my generation, I didn't travel until I was like, oh my goodness, in my 20s, 30s, really? And when I say travel, I went from Miami to Orlando. I did go to West Virginia to see my grandmother, but to me, that was like, you seen your grandmother. It wasn't like I was, travel per se. But what these millennials are doing, they are going out of the country, y'all. They're going out of the country. They're visiting other countries, learning about other countries. That's where their money is going. So that's another reason why they, don't want to get married right now, because they don't want the spouse maybe to hold them back. They want to be able to say, I'm going on this trip and not have to get no permission from no spouse or tag anybody along. They would get in cars and planes and go by themselves. And they don't want to have the kids to hold them down and take away from the money that they're going to use to go traveling. This is just amazing, this article. This article had me open up a whole lot of my mind space to understand my kids a lot more clearer. It says this in conclusion on this article. It says, oh, it also says this part. It says more than 70% of millennials would like to spend time working outside of the U.S., not in the U.S. They want to work outside of the U.S. Now, this is why probably a lot of millennials want to travel to see other countries, to learn about it, because they no longer want to work in the U.S. They want to work in these other countries. And in order to work in the other countries, wouldn't it be wise to go and learn about the other countries, travel and do a little vacation? So these millennials are not lacking in knowledge, you guys. They're not. They're wiser than we think. Also, it said in conclusion, this wraps up the top 7 trends we see impacting millennials as we move deeper into 2023. Through these trends, we can see that this generation is making their own way in life, charting a path that differs widely from the path their parents took. Financial woes are one of the main reasons, but changing societal expectations and uncertain times like the Great Recession and the pandemic are driving the trends of this generation too. As millennials age into midlife, we'll need to keep a close watch to see how their maturity and experience has affected their choices going forward. This article is so good, you guys. Parents, don't give up on your millennial child. Don't give up on them. They may have a lot more wisdom than we think. It's just that we've been thinking our way, and God's given them a whole nother way of thinking. Everything can't stay the same. Things have to change. They evolve. And this millennial generation may be the one that's helping us to evolve. So don't hold them back, you guys. Help these millennials to go ahead and evolve. Let me get in these comments for you guys. All right. Thank you, Aaron. Remind everybody, click the thumbs up on this video, especially if you're on our YouTube channel, the Juice Radio and Talk Show on our YouTube channel. Click that thumbs up. If you're watching from one of our other channels, go on over there to our YouTube channel when we log off and look for our logo. Just type in the Juice Radio and Talk Show and click that thumbs up over there for me, all right? I would love for you to do me that huge favor. Thank you so much. All right, let's get your comments. So Pastor Lorenzo said, the famous Thomas Edison quote, I have not failed. I just found 10,000 ways that won't work. You better come on. Yes, Pastor Lorenzo. I love that. I just found 10,000 ways that don't work. Come on now. Robin says, educated but not wealthy? Depends on how you define wealth. If it's only money, well, great point, Robin. Great point. Listen, they're not trying to have a house. They're not trying to have all that stuff. They're not trying to have a whole bunch of money. They are trying to enjoy life and learn more. I love that. Robin also says, nowadays, education is not a ticket to good paying employment. If someone says they want their child to graduate high school and go to college, I wait for the rest of the comment. Go to the college and what? Oh, right. And what? What's next? What? Some of these millennials are doing way better with that high school education than some people did with that college education. I get it. All right. Pastor Rizzo said, yes, the outhouse. Remember? Oh my, the old outhouse. That thing scared me so bad, Pastor Lorenzo. I did not have to use the bathroom for the whole trip back. I didn't. But I was grateful. It taught me a real good lesson to be grateful. I was so grateful. I do not take restrooms for granted after seeing that. I don't. All right. Robin said, oh, Lord, my paternal grandmother had an outhouse, right? My father and one of his sisters were responsible for her having indoor plumbing. Oh, I love that. I bet you when she got that, Robin, she was probably so grateful and probably like, how does this whole thing work? That was, even my mother, when she said they finally got indoor plumbing, it was like a whole new lesson learned for them and just a curiosity, the whole process. Shout out and thank God to the people that created that. Hey, Tammy. Tammy said, I'm with them. I was not about that marriage and having kids competition. Tammy. And Tammy, you're more like a millennial anyway. You're like so young at heart and you think like they do, which is a great thing. Tammy's like, I ain't about having them kids. She said, got married before they had a chance to know who they were, right? And got married before they went out and enjoyed life, before they experienced the world. Some people, thank you, Holy Spirit, some people get married, have babies, and never learn about life outside of the city or the state or the country, USA, where they are. They just don't. They don't, because they feel as though, well, I can't do it now because I got to raise these kids, and and I keep raising these kids, and I have no more money because I got to pay for these kids, and I can't go nowhere because I'm tired and I'm working, and millennials, they like, I am not going to be my mama. I am going to travel. I am not going to be my daddy. I'm going to travel. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to learn. I'm going to enjoy myself. And it's okay if I spend my money because I'm going to make more money. Millennials, they have it different. They have it different. Also, Tammy said, if I had done that, there would be a lot of unhappy people. See? I get you, Tammy. I get you. Thanks, Aaron. Y'all thumbs up the video. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Pastor Lorenzo said this. He says, we are concerned about the end game. They are not. Right. That in conclusion. Right, Pastor Lorenzo? We concerned, but they not. I really do think that millennials are going to be some of the most successful people. I know a lot of people may disagree or may be like, okay, Regina, now you stretching, you reaching. You know what? I think they are. I think they are. And what I'm also really looking at is I think they are going to have to start weighing heavily on the assistance of the Gen Z generation. I think the two generations are going to have to come together for whatever the next greater thing is that they're going to do. So if you're a millennial out here right now, you probably want to connect with a Gen Z. Gen Z is that age that came right after you. You may want to connect with them. They're younger. I think they're about in their 24s or something like that. You may want to connect with one of them, because let me tell you, Gen Zs, we're gonna talk about them one day too. They so smart. They are, because when you think about Gen Z, they had to grow up with all this technology, all this stuff. But that generation right there, Gen Z, woo. All right, so that's my show today for my daughter stepping in here, making sure that we push her program forward. She couldn't be here. She did text me, had to take care of some things, but I did not want you guys to miss out on this great topic. I hope I did well for her. Thank you all for helping me and being here as well. Appreciate y'all so very much for contributing to the channel by watching, viewing, liking, subscribing, and all of that. I appreciate y'all so very much for doing that for her, because my daughter wants there to be a better relationship between parents and their children. And she's just using her own life and her own life choices and decisions and lifestyle and so forth to really share with others, so that we can all have this great relationship. And I love that. I love that. I love that so much that she decided to share her life with the world. This is worldwide. Stuff is on the World Wide Web. And I'm glad that she was able to do that. And it wasn't because she wanted everyone to see her or to know her or anything like that. It's because she really has a heart that she wants parents to get along with their children. And why not use your own experiences to do that? And so I'm grateful to my daughter, Brianna. I will let her know that you all missed her. She'll be logging on later on to view the recap of this. And I appreciate it. Thank y'all so much for putting your great comments in here as well. Pastor Lorenzo said they will either merge or collide. That Gen Z and that millennial. They will either merge or collide. I'm hoping they merge. I really do. Can you imagine the work that they could do if they really merge together? Oh, they could do some wonderful work. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you. This is a great show. Appreciate that so much. Pastor Lorenzo says, I was waiting on her. Tell her we missed her. I will. Reach back out to her in a few hours. Like I said, she's taking care of some stuff, but I will definitely let her know that you all missed her. Thank you, Aaron, for reminding everybody about our show that's coming on tonight, Church News. It is a very special show. We have a very special guest that we're going to be interviewing. Thank you so very much, Minister. Thank you, Aaron. You're the best. Minister LaShandra Lockhart is going to be here. We're going to talk with her and have a great conversation. So y'all set your notifications and alerts to be back here tonight at 7:30. This is going to be a great topic, great conversation. I appreciate it so much. Thank you all for being here. We'll be back next week with more topics. And if there's a topic or conversation that you would like us to cover or to discuss, go ahead and send an inbox, or either you can send me an email. You can email me as well to the Juice Radio and Talk Show right here at gmail.com, the Juice Radio and Talk Show at gmail.com. Go ahead and email me. If you inbox me on one of these several channels, I may miss the inbox or may get to it later, because sometimes it takes me a while to check all of those inboxes. But if you email me, I get those on a daily. Okay, I get those every day. Okay, that notification goes every day. So if you want us to have a topic or discussion you would like us to discuss, go ahead and send me an email, and we'll go ahead and get that on panel. All right. Thank you all for being here. We'll be back tonight, and we'll be back next week for this continued conversation about Gen X and millennials. You know, come on now. Let's go ahead and have some great conversation and great fun. All right. Thank y'all for being here. We're going to go ahead and run these commercials so that you know everything else that we're doing here on the Juice Radio and Talk Show. This is a wonderful channel, and it's made even greater because you are here. And remember, you guys, go online, Amazon. Go online to Amazon. Type in Apostle Cheeseborough. You could type his name in, Apostle Frank Cheeseborough, or you can type in the title, The Principles of Success. Make sure you order this book. All right. Order this book. Order this book. It's going to help you and others. All right. When you order yours, order another one for somebody else too. All right. All right. Appreciate y'all. We're out of here for now. Y'all have a blessed day. Love y'all. Bye.
A heartfelt thank you to all of our subscribers who joined us for this video. If you have not already subscribed, go to our YouTube channel, The Juice Radio and Talk Show. Subscribe and click on the notification bell to be alerted whenever we go live. Join our private Juice community. Go to www.thejuicecommunity.com and sign up for free. Join us, The Juice Radio and Talk Show. We have our Money Monday financial series. It is a lunch and learn program at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time on Mondays. Also on Monday, we have our reality series and hot topics at 7 p.m. Wednesdays, we have Bible study at 7:30 p.m. Thursdays, we have church news at 7:30 p.m. We also offer motivational moments, happy marriage lifestyle, news from a godly perspective, movie reviews, as well as our single moms club, Let's Talk X-MILLENNIALS, and of course, our Cooking with Clovis. Follow us on our podcast channel, The Juice Radio and Talk Show Podcast, streaming on all podcast platforms. A great big thank you to our podcast production company, Noye Podcast Productions. They can help you create your own podcast also. Contact them today at houseofnoye.com. Thank you to our sponsor, Custom Apparel Shop. Have them complete your embroidery work and silk screening needs. Do you need a logo created for your fashion apparel or company? Contact Israel Mason today. That is 786-657-7501. Thank you to our main sponsor, Truth and Triumph Ministries. Truth and Triumph Ministries, a ministry that cares about telling people the truth so they can triumph in life. Thank you, Truth and Triumph Ministries, for all you do.